Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Disney Countdown Show. It is I, the Dapper Danielle, and I'm here with the lovely and ever so gracious Megan, the Magical Millennial. How you doing, babe?
Hi, I'm doing good, Danielle. How are
Are
you?
you alive? How are you doing? Okay, to preface, Megan, as we're recording this episode, Megan's only been back in California for like a couple days, and I hung out with
a day.
her
Not even
a day.
not even that. Like 23 hours, almost a day.
And while she was here in Disney World, like I only hung out with you for maybe like 2 days out of your time here, and you were running. You were constantly going, and I had no idea how you were surviving.
I think it was just pure adrenaline and joy of being at Walt Disney World again because I was so excited to be back. It had been a while, been a few months, and that was the longest time that I had spent in Walt Disney World since 2014. I just realized.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was a long week.
Wow.
We did parks every day. I did Universal on the last day, which was a super, not overstimulating, but very exciting for me because I hadn't been since I was 9 years old. So
And it's
overall,
so different too.
It's very different. It's big. Obviously, they have two parks. So yeah, I was going. I kept my energy up, which I surprised myself at that. But now it all just kind of came to a head. Like last night, I slept a lot more than I thought I would. So I'm here. I'm alive. We're surviving. I have my coffee right here. Got my water, and I'm very excited for this second episode of season 3.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And y'all, thank you so much again for listening and tuning in with us and showing up. And maybe you also had a really hard time waking up this morning as you're tuning into this episode, just like Megan was. But we're happy you're here. So make sure you are listening, following along on the Disney Countdown Show on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, and Pod Disney over on the Twitter X thing, whatever it is. And y'all, we are getting back on track with our YouTube versions of these episodes. So hello,
Yes.
YouTube family. If you're watching this right now, our producers in the back during this past holiday season with last season, they were running around like crazy, just like Megan was during this past trip. And so now we're in a new swing of things. We're now moving again. Our full team is coming back, and it's going to be great. So we're happy to have the YouTube versions of the episodes back as well.
Yes, and that is on youtube.com/countdown network. So then you can see our lovely faces as we talk behind the microphones, which is fun too.
And just see my behind me. I don't know if you can see it at all. I have my Orange Bird collection. I have a little Country Bear collection going on, and I have my Dolly Parton shrine right there also. It's an interesting mix. You get to see a little more of our personal selves.
Danielle has a way better background than I do. I literally just have a star on the wall, and I don't even know what that painting is behind me. So
good times.
A little more beige over here in Orange County.
That's okay.
That's all right. And of course, guys, we always appreciate you following us on our personal socials as well. The Magical Millennial _ Instagram, Threads, and TikTok, all that good stuff. And the Dapper Danielle on the same platform. So thank you all for following along and for following along the trip this weekend. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. And the amount of DMs of people commenting on our videos like that we did together. And
they loved it. Yeah.
They loved it. Oh, they were obsessed. Yeah. Or they're just like, oh my goodness, I didn't know you and Megan actually like hang out in real life. And I'm like, okay, obviously you don't know about the podcast. That's great. And even in our bonus episode, which we're going to tell y'all a little bit about later, in the bonus episode, we get stopped a couple of times and you might hear us actually telling people, well, yeah, we hang out. We're filming an episode right now. You have a podcast? And yeah, so it's all exciting things.
It was so much fun. It was so much fun to get together. And it's always fun to collaborate with the people that, of course, you see on your screen all the time. But yes, we are friends in real life. I promise, guys. And we hang out quite a bit. Well, at least when you're over here, I'm over there. And it's a good time. So yes, very excited for that little bonus episode. We will get to that in just a moment. But of course, guys, if you are listening here and you want to share your 2 cents with us on what you're listening to, what we talk about, you can always rate and review, which is a great way to engage with us on the show. And you might even get a shout out on the show. So you can rate us on Spotify or DM us your reviews. And of course, rate on Apple Podcasts. So we actually have a few that are really, really nice.
This
week.
is a long one.
Yes.
hold on.
Danielle, you want to take this one?
I gotta make sure my glasses are on and that I'm zoomed in so I can see this properly. But oh no, I think this is a reference to last season. Okay,
I see one. I see a name in there, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
Here we go. This is from Grace 2893, and it says, "Tinkerbell fans unite! Laughy cryy face." If y'all listened to last season, you know my opinion on some Tinkerbell fans. I love y'all, but y'all gotta calm down. Anyway, it says, "Love this podcast, the amazing host, and I get so excited to listen each week to the new episode. I'm glad I saved this week's episode for the day I did." Oh my goodness, it was the Tinkerbell episode. I was listening to the sections of it during my search from store to store in Arizona looking for Tinkerbell fig pins. Oh, that's right, because the fig pins have started showing up at what is it, Burlington Coat Factory, I believe.
Oh, they have. Okay,
they have, and just discount that just dropped for a discounted price. I unfortunately didn't find the pin at the first 2 stores I stopped at, and had to get to an 8 p.m. show of Coco live to film, which was phenomenal. Nice. Oh, that's exciting. After the show, I stopped at one last store. Now, at the time that this is happening, it's 11 p.m. and found the Tinkerbell pins. Yay! I bought the 2 that were available on the shelf. After I left the store, I turned the podcast episode back on, and you shared your thoughts on the overall Tinkerbell fans. LOL, I literally died laughing. You are definitely not wrong, but I do gotta say, out of all the fans out there, I believe I am the person that is the most like the character. I've believed we're the same person my whole life. Ha ha ha. Aww. That was such an accurate read on the TikTok community. Thank you for always providing such great entertainment.
How funny is that? That was like, she had been searching stores after store for the Tinkerbell pins, and then right as she turned it back on, then we played our Wheel of Disney. Was that it? Or Underrated, Overrated?
Underrated, Overrated. And I said, I love Tinkerbell, but sometimes her fans are a little over the top, is what I was talking about.
I specifically remember that episode, yes, and that is too funny.
That is really funny.
What a coincidence. Wow. Well, I'm so glad you found your Tinkerbell pins. Trust me, right? I know the struggle of finding pins that you want or need, especially in a mystery set. So I'm really glad you found them.
The orange bird fig pins have started showing up at Burlington Coat Factories. I've been tagged in a couple posts about it. And I'm like, guys, if it's here in Florida, it's gone. It doesn't exist. I'm going to have to go try to find it in like Nashville or Georgia to be able to even find it at one of their locations.
Usually any of the locations that are anywhere close to the parks, they're gone. They're sold out. Gone. That happens to us over here in all of Orange County, really. I can never find, like, Marshall started selling Bobble Bar and Loungefly. No, I haven't found any since I've looked in any Marshalls. But once it goes up on social media, they're going to be sold out quickly. Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's too funny. Oh my gosh. Well, we have one more review here that I want to read. The title is "I Was Confused," and I love that title because same story of my life.
Most of the time,
right? And this is from Happy Kelly, 100%. Kelly's my sister's name. That's so cute. And it says, "Okay, so when I started listening to the Disney Countdown, with quote unquote podcast, I thought to myself, why is it taking them so long to get to the actual countdown part? What is all this jibber jabber? Why do y'all talk so much? I know. Now I realize the jibber jabber is why we are here. Megan and Danielle are fabulous together, very entertaining to listen to." Aw, thank you, Kelly. I know we talk a lot and we go on our rants, and Danielle goes on her rants, but we do. I promise you it's worth it. And then we get to the countdown towards the end of the show. Usually,
we are trying to keep y'all informed on what's happening on the Disney World side and the Disneyland side, while also just tying in the countdown portion. Because if we jumped right to the countdown portion, this podcast would be like 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Right? It would barely be anything.
Guys around.
Right. Most of you are listening while you're doing your laundry. Maybe you're driving around and you're getting stuff done. Who knows what you're doing? So we're just helping you take up some of that time in your day and making it magical while we're doing it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So thank you for sticking around during these episodes. Yes. We do appreciate that.
We do appreciate that. We really, really do. Well, speaking of sticking around, we have some new Patreon fam. Quite a few Patreon fam, actually.
Yay!
So shout out to Vicky, Bailey, Danielle. Another Danielle has joined the group. George, Jessica, Nicole, and Todd. Welcome to the Patreon family. We are so happy that you're here. And yes, we do have that private Patreon page. There's a Facebook page, I believe, for the Patreon, and a Discord now. And
yes,
y'all have been popping off in the Discord. I love it so much. Yes.
Yeah, it's so fun to go in there and see you guys in there posting and everything. And of course, we appreciate you being here for the Patreon. We are going to do a virtual hang coming up here very soon, so look out for that date. And can't wait to chat with you guys and see all of the new faces. So thank y'all for being part of the Disney Countdown Show Patreon fam.
Yes, and well, and new faces, Megan. We're going to introduce a new segment onto the show.
A new segment?
Yes, a new segment, and we are calling it Fan Mail. I don't know. We need like a jingle or something for this, but this new segment, as y'all know, we love hearing from you. Whether it's via DMs, comments, saying hi to us in the parks, we love all of it. Or if you're very old-fashioned, snail mail as well. And in this new segment, we are going to answer some fan mail. And this week's message comes specifically from, is it Estrella? Oh wait, I'm saying that wrong.
Estrella 17.
Very nice. On Instagram. So you guys can communicate through us through Instagram, or we're also going to give you a Gmail account that you can write your note to. And this question says, hello, active listener here, exclamation points. I was wondering if y'all could give any information regarding D23.
Oh, okay.
Is it worth it for the general public who doesn't have media access, ? What does the process look like for getting into the panels, ? Is it better and do upgrade
your ticket? To
upgrade your ticket for preferred seating, and how hard it is to get those tickets. Love the pod and both of y'all's TikToks. Ooh.
Well, thank you.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Okay. So should we hit those questions one by one?
I think we should. I think starting off with it, is it worth for the general public who doesn't have media access? I think, babe, if you think that we have media access, you are horribly wrong. We are
we are regular old folks just walking around that expo.
Exactly. Yep. People that do have media access to this are usually news sources and blog sources. So maybe like our friends over at the Disney food blog.
Disney food blog, yeah.
They can apply to be media, and they are writing articles about this stuff,
right? Or like the Orange County Register, or someone that's actually like a news outlet. Yes,
Los Angeles
influencers and influencers, content creators who do Disney content. Majority of the time, probably 99%, do not have media access.
Right. Unless they're specifically invited in by Disney. And even then, they're just given a ticket and said, here you go. Good luck. But they still have to go through the same processes of even trying to get a seat. There is no like special seating or anything like that for those people. They're just given a ticket.
Right. So is it worth it? In short, I say absolutely. For Disney fans out there, I highly recommend you go to at least one D23 Expo in your life. I think it's extremely informational. There's so many vendors and so much news that comes out of our D23 over in Anaheim. And I just think it's so fun to be there, and you get access to merch that hasn't been like put out to the public yet, or just got released from like Loungefly, all these companies that work with Disney. And then of course the panels, which was the next question. What does the process look like for getting into the panels? Now I can speak on this from a one-time paneler myself. I only got into the Disney Parks panel in 2022. And it was, oh boy, it was a little bit stressful because
Wasn't it a lottery system that you had to sign up for which ones you'd be interested in?
That's exactly right. So they will send out, if you have a ticket, they will send out an email saying, here's what you can sign up for, or what you can register for. That doesn't mean that you're going to get in. It is a lottery system. So here's the ones, like, you specify which ones you're interested in, and then they'll give you whatever they have. So you can't just like go to all of them. You know what I mean? It's just you say which ones you're interested in, and then they'll give you what you are assigned to, or what panel you got into. And even then, you have to line up by a certain time, because they can close them if it gets too full.
When I was there for the 2019 D23, and it was the day of the Disney Parks panel. There was like the basement where everybody was kind of lining up. There's people trying to get to the general show floor, and there was people that were waiting as early as 6 a.m. for a spot for this panel that wasn't even going to start until what was like noon or 1
at least. Yeah, noon or 1,
something ridiculous like that. And y'all, I was like, absolutely not. Ain't nobody got time for that. And they're live streaming everything. So what I did was I was walking around the show floor and I said, oh, look, it's time. I opened up the app and I saw it live streaming, and I was able to plug in my headphones and listen while I was waiting in line to do a virtual experience of Disney on Broadway. And that was very cool. And I got to hear all the updates. It was great, but I wasn't waiting with all those people. It was a lot.
Right. It is a lot. It is a lot. And I know that with the lottery system, they tried to avoid that a little bit so people wouldn't have to line up by 6 a.m. People still did in the last D23 2 years ago.
Because they feared missing out, you know?
It's that FOMO. I know they want to be, or they want to be the first in the first couple of rows, have really good seats for it. So the process is a little bit easier, I think, for the panels. Just make sure you look out for that email and make sure you get your selections in time. And then
I was able to walk into the giant cosplay competition. I think it's usually put on by Her Universe.
Yeah.
Or at least Ashley's always there for those. And I was able to just walk in, and I got to like the middle back. And it was great. I was still able to see everything. They have put it up on the giant screens, but I didn't have to wait in a crazy line for it. It was great.
That's awesome. Yeah. The only panel I've ever gotten to was the Disney parks, and we were late because there were so many people that were in line for that. We were supposed to have a guaranteed spot, but we were like kind of far back, but we still got in. We just missed the Jordan Fisher singing live of Happily Ever After, so that was kind of a bummer. But we saw everything else. That was cool.
Right. Well, go buy your tickets to see him on Broadway. He's somewhere on Broadway. He bounces around.
He is. The shows. That man is so talented. Oh my gosh, he's amazing.
He is. I think one of the other questions was, okay, what does the process look like for getting into the panels? We kind of just answered that. Is it better to upgrade your tickets for preferred seating, and how hard is it to get those tickets? Honestly, I think is there preferred seating ticket?
I don't think there's preferred seating. No, I think for the panels, it's just whatever you get. The seating is all based on first come, or not first come first serve, but like the line where you are in line when you're physically there. Yeah, I don't think there's preferred seating. There is like a VIP package for D23. At least I think so. There's going to be another one this year. It is a lot. Yeah. So I'm not sure what the price tag on that will be.
If you're one of those people that just wants to be there for the presentation and like that means the world for you, you do you, boo. Like, stay in your lane, stay in your seat, go to your peoples, go to your VIP section. But for the same cost, do you know how much merch and exclusive merch I could get at D23?
So much merch. So much. Yes. They do have really good merch in a lot of the different stores that they have around. So I say, maybe if you got that cash to burn, do it for sure. It looks amazing. It looks like an amazing experience. Trust me. I was like, I think in 2019, I was like, oh man, one day I'll get one of those tickets, but I'm not quite there yet. So I'd rather go get merch. We'll work on it. Yeah. I'd rather save the money and get some merch, some cool merch. So yeah.
Exactly.
I hope that answers your questions, Estrea, and thank you so much for leaving them. And yes, if you guys want to be a part of this segment or try to be a part of this segment, of course, leave us a DM, and we are happy to answer any of your fan mail questions.
Yes, so you can leave a DM over at the Disney Countdown Show. Probably on Instagram is the easiest way to be able to do that. And
yes,
then
at
also,
Disney Countdown Show.
Or if you don't like going through Instagram or Meta Messenger, whatever it's called, you also can email us at disneycountdownshow@gmail.com. And that's the best way to real life physically send a letter our way, so we can go through, answer your questions. And this is kind of nice, Megan. I kind of like answering the very specific questions like this. I kind of like that.
I do too. And also, I think we also have a PO box. So if you guys want to physically have some snail mail sent our way, you can email us, disneycountdownshow@gmail.com, and we'll send you our PO box address. So that'd be kind of cool, like actual fan mail, like the 90s.
Yes, because I don't have my personal PO box set up right now. So that's like a really good way to even like send me stuff. It's great.
Oh man.
Yes.
Well, Okay, so let's chat, Danielle, because I just saw you 2 days ago, and
Right. So I feel like I don't need to catch up too much with you. That's why I was just more concerned about if you were alive.
yeah. Are you
But
breathing?
barely,
Barely,
barely.
barely. Yeah,
But I
but
feel like we need to talk about a couple of fun moments that did happen while we were hanging out and while we were hanging out
yes.
around the Disney world, the world of Walt Disney World.
Yes, yes. It was so magical. We did have some really, really fun moments, some great days, honestly. I loved our Animal Kingdom day, which, by
Yes.
the way, you guys, we did take some time to record a little bonus episode where we're walking around Animal Kingdom, which is my favorite park. I know it's not Danielle's favorite park, and I completely understand,
You
but it
know,
is.
it's slowly growing on me only because I didn't go to Animal Kingdom as a kid, but
Mhm.
as an adult, I think I appreciate it a little bit more. I'm slowly getting up to that point as like just going for the vibes. I'm there for the
The
vibes.
vibes. That's right. We love the vibes. The food and the drinks are really good too. So, yeah, we were just walking
Mhm.
around and we hooked up some mics to our shirts and we chatted for a bit. So, yeah, our little bonus episode where we're walking around Animal Kingdom just released. So, if you want to listen to that, walk around with us, look at some merch, go on Flight of Passage with us, feel free.
Mhm.
You can join the Disney Countdown Show Patreon page. You can also click the link in our episode notes, or go to patreon.com and search Disney Countdown, and you can have some fun with us at Disney's Animal Kingdom, which is
Or if you don't want to hang out with the
the best
Patreon
park.
fam, which is like fine, you do you, boo. You also can be a paid subscriber on Apple or on Spotify, and that's also another way that you can listen to these bonus episodes. And once you do become a paid subscriber, you also get all the other previous bonus episodes that we've done, and that's
Yes,
also going to include our list of movies that did not make it into our list. So our like
mm-hmm.
11 through
11 through
15, the ones
15.
that
Yep.
almost made it. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that was super fun. Very much
It's
enjoyed doing that with you, Danielle.
it was interesting. Like I listened to a wee bit of the audio, right? It's a trip.
Yeah.
There was so much going on in that episode because we're walking through Animal Kingdom. Me and you are going to get stopped. We get stopped a couple times. I don't know if any of
Mm-hmm.
that's going to make it into the final cut of the audio, but we do get stopped. And Chris, our producer, one of our producers, is nodding his head. Yes, it does make it into the audio. And you can hear like the show cue and like the pre like as we go into Avatar Flight of Passage, like the pre-show, you can hear him talking, and we try to
Mm-hmm.
do a very good job of not talking during that because there are so many other people that are in the area that this is their first time seeing that, and we didn't want to take that away from them. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's the audio of us on the attraction,
And we're
y'all.
and we're like doing our woos.
The woos, and then Janelle's like, "Wah!" And then there's also wind and water that is put towards your face where our
Yes.
microphones are, and it is interesting. It's a lot.
There's a little bit of wind in there,
A
but
little bit of wind in there, and
you get to hear that, which is it is pretty entertaining, I
it
think.
is pretty entertaining. It's
Yeah.
very interesting. So if you want to kind of hear a little tidbit of us talking as we're in the middle of Pandora, then definitely go take a listen. It was a lot of fun.
So much
But
fun.
also, Megan,
Yes.
I don't know if like looking back, and we in one of our videos that we ended up doing, like all four of us together, it was me, you, Blake, and Cole. We
Mhm.
did a video. Blake, or not Blake, Cole, in his video was like, oh, the Disney adults walking into the best park, which is Animal Kingdom. The amount of people coming into the comments and like taking it very literally of like, oh no, it's not Disneyland. Oh no, it's not Epcot. What have you gotten any responses or comments to that also directed towards you?
Not directed towards me. I think majority of people are like, you do you, whatever's your favorite park, sure. I have said for the longest time that Epcot was my favorite park, and I think the only reason it is now is because of Cosmic Rewind, because that is my favorite attraction in any Disney park. But Animal Kingdom is for sure, like, I'd say they're tied really for the top spot. But I haven't gotten any real like criticism of Animal Kingdom being my number one. I think people are just like, go ahead, do you, it's fine. But there are some people that are like, like Animal Kingdom like sucks. It's the half day park.
It's
not
a zoo.
you know,
And I'm like,
it's a zoo. I'm like, no, it's not.
Than a zoo. Oh.
Can you go on a safari in a zoo? I mean, in probably San Diego Wild Animal Park, that is a thing. But can you like go on Expedition Everest? Do you have Pandora in a zoo? No. Do you have like some of the best
Do you
bars
have Kevin
in a zoo?
from the movie Up?
Kevin,
No,
exactly.
you are wrong.
No. Dinosaur? No. Yeah. So, but again, you do you. People are free to think what they want to think about Animal Kingdom. It's fine.
It's
I
fine.
just love it, and every time I'm there, we have such a great day. And Festival of Lion King, oh my gosh, that was like the first thing that we did that day, which is a great show. I get chills every time. Oh my gosh, the fire scene during Be Prepared is it's so amazing.
And
so that was
fire
cool.
dancers in that show are legit professionals. I don't know. I don't think it was the same guy, but pre-COVID, there was one of the fire dancers for that show actually competed globally and won. I think I want to say it was like 2015 or something like that, and it was like a really big deal. And that's like the amount of professionalism of these actors and these performers that come into, of all things, Festival of the Lion King. No, they are like legit.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I can see it because the things that he does with that little, stick with the fire on both ends is pretty awesome. Something I will never be able to do in my lifetime, but I love watching it, and I love the Be Prepared song. That guy that comes out, his voice is just
great actor also for that. And he was so animated, and it was like at the beginning I was like, okay, how is this going to go? Oh no. He knew his pauses. He knew how to get the crowd reaction, and he was over the top in his mannerisms during Be Prepared. He was having more fun with it than anybody else was. And it was great to watch that. It was really cool.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. So that was so much fun. And we just overall had a great day. We did Everest. Danielle, unfortunately, did not do Everest with us. She sat off to the side with our bags. So thank you for watching our bags.
You're welcome.
And I love that ride so much.
And while we were in Magic Kingdom for a hot second, we did go see Country Bear Jamboree before the change.
We did. Oh, which I would not have had it any other way. I had to see it with the Dapper Danielle, and boy, did it deliver.
By the time that this episode does come out, which is very, very sad, but I am so happy that I got to experience with you. And people were saying that actually the last time you might have seen it and why you might not have recognized the songs was because it was the Summertime Hoedown overlay.
Oh, Summertime. Okay, there was an overlay. And was that at Magic Kingdom or Disneyland?
Both. Disneyland and Magic Kingdom for the longest time had a Christmas and a summertime overlay.
Okay, I did not realize that. So there probably were a few times. I did see Country Bear Jamboree. I want to say maybe a grand total of 4 or 5 times when it was at Disneyland in my childhood. And probably at least 1 or 2 of those times it was during summer. So that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. So that's why you probably weren't as familiar with the storyline, because it does change and the songs totally change during those overlays. So that would make sense. That would make sense.
That makes sense. Now I don't remember all the guys that turned me on, turned me down or something, whatever that song was by the Little nor do I remember There's Blood on the Saddle or something from Big Al.
Oh yes.
No, I don't remember those. But it probably repressed memories in my mind because my jaw was on the floor after hearing some of those songs.
It was great.
I was like, what? At a Disney park? Oh my, okay.
Right. And I think that's what everyone else's reaction was. And I think I say this in the bonus episode, but I was singing along because of course I know all the words. And these ladies in front of me were shook that I was singing along out loud. And they did like a 180 at me
Bombastic
to like look at me. And I'm like, woman, I am enjoying myself. You do not understand.
But there were tons of people singing along, and that's what I loved about being there. There were tons. I could hear so many people singing along, especially to Big Al. They were all so excited for Big Al.
In the back that was going to church on the Blood on the Saddle song of Big Al's. He was having a moment.
He had his arms raised. Oh my gosh, yeah, it was his moment.
It was. And I'm like, I'm so happy for you, sir. Like, this is great for you. Thank you.
I was happy for everyone. I was like, wow, you guys really, really love this show. And I love that. This is like seeing it for the first time, but I'm so glad that it has its fans. And I'm also really looking forward to the new songs and the new outfits and everything. It's going to be a little more Disney-fied.
A little more
later
TLC,
down the road.
Hopefully get some of the projector pieces fixed and just the
Yeah.
overall sound equipment fixed also. I don't think it's been updated at least since the like 2001. So it definitely needs it.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. It looked good, I will say.
Yeah.
For a relatively old show, it did look good.
They were
So,
refurred, I believe. I think I've said this before, back in like 2012 or 2014, one of the two. They
oh,
did
okay.
get new
Okay.
furs. So that they do look a little cleaner, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
No, I'm
speaking of which, before we go into anything else, I think it's time for some Disney news because we also got to see Tiana's Bayou Adventure, right?
Yes, yes. I got to see it over in Magic Kingdom and compare it to the one we have here in Land. And
We have
wow,
some
are you
updates.
guys further along than us?
So let's go ahead and break into that Disney news. Y'all, it's true. Our Disney World's version of the attraction is much further ahead than Disneyland's right now. We have Spanish moss on the trees. We have little hanging glass bottles that you can see from the ground looking upwards.
hmm
It's coming together.
Yours looks so good, and yes, you can see kind of the Mama Odie vibe going up there at the top of the hill,
Mm-hmm.
and so much greenery, so many like flowers around. The water tower looks great. I think there's one other thing that I was like, oh my gosh, you guys have that already? Yeah, we just got the water tower. Like we just got it
Oh,
maybe
wow.
2 weeks ago, so we're a little bit behind. But as we know, yours did close 4 to 5 months before ours. And so I have a feeling, well, for what it looks like and seeing it in person, I'm like, your guys is going to open before ours. I know it, whether it's a month or two or just a few weeks, similar to what Rise of the Resistance was like back in 2019 to 2020. Since you guys
Mm-hmm.
started the process before us, I just have a feeling that's what's going to happen. And
Oh, yeah.
I am happy for you. I would be so shocked if they waited to open them at the same time. I don't think they would do that.
I don't think so. Unless it's just a manufacturing issue of like the amount of animatronics that go in and they're making them probably at the exact
Oh
same
yeah.
time for each coast. If something happens with the delay of getting those animatronics, that's the only thing I could think of that would delay this process. But
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I have heard though, and so I forget the article link, but someone has actually gone through with the Imagineers and has done a walkthrough, and
hmm
most of it is already, you can kind of see where some of the critters are. The little
hmm
banjo critters, they're off to the side, they're already in place, and there are cutouts of where the Lewis the Alligator, Tiana, and Mama Odie animatronics are going to be. So as the Imagineers are in there walking the track, they can see where the animatronic is supposed to be so they can match the greenery around it and finish completing the set scenes before they just plug them in. And
Yes, which is awesome.
we
Yeah.
have confirmation they are not going to have screen faces.
Okay, so they're going to be the legit animatronics,
Right.
similar to
Legit
the
animatronics.
like Shanghai, Tokyo
Exactly.
rides.
So,
Okay, cool.
similar to, so in like the Frozen ride, for example, here at Walt Disney World, Anna, Elsa, and Kristoff have screen faces that are operated and powered off of Microsoft, and they break a lot. Even we rode Frozen Ever After,
We
and
did.
the discoloration on those screens, they are not holding up. They cannot hold up in the humid water ride attraction that it is. So
No.
they are going to be doing full fleshed out faces just like they do over at the Frozen Ever After ride in, is it
Hong
Shanghai?
Kong.
I believe it's
Hong
Shanghai
Kong.
or Hong Kong. Yeah.
Yeah, Hong Kong has Arendelle. Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's really good to hear. And I'm so excited to see them. I'm so excited to see the characters. We know for a fact that unfortunately Dr. Facilier is not going to be in the attraction because he is on the other side with his friends. And I believe Ray and Evangeline will also not be included, just maybe as stars somewhere in the attraction. That's my fingers crossed that they're like featured as their little stars at some point through the ride.
Right. Or like a better
But
reference made to them that's a little more
very excited to
obvious.
hear what the
That kind
songs
of
are going to
stuff.
be like. I think they're going to include some of the originals, but it's mostly going to be new songs that are coming to Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Right, right. I mean,
So
I'm excited
yeah.
for it. I think it's going to tie along with. Well, actually, do we even have confirmation on if that show was canceled or not? Remember, it was
Oh,
supposed to be.
the Disney Plus show.
Yeah, the Disney Plus show that was supposed to take like Tiana on adventures around the world post this movie,
I
and
know.
like we saw one concept art image and there was some kind of update talking about it, but we haven't heard anything else about the show at all.
Nothing's come out, and that's also it hasn't been confirmed that it's canceled, so I have no idea what's going on with that.
Maybe we'll get more closure in the next D23. Like maybe we'll get a preview of it if it actually is going to be sticking around. That'd be good to know.
That'd be nice, at least if it was, you know, kind of congruent or like in sort of cohesion with the ride, because it'd be nice to get some backstory as to what the ride story is going to be about.
Right.
Yeah. So that'd be cool.
That would be
but we'll
cool.
see.
More things to come. More info to come. Now,
That's right.
Megan, over on the Disneyland side, there is Sweethearts Night going on, and you will have attended after this episode airs.
Yes. Unfortunately, we are a day early. I'm going to Sweethearts Night tomorrow in real time. But the first night of Sweethearts Night was last night. And according to some posts that I think Danielle has seen, I guess it wasn't so great. Okay, here's the thing. Okay,
well, yes and
here's
no.
the thing. Okay. Because
So,
like I've been to the first night of many a Disney After Dark event, and it's never as good as the following nights. I went to first night of Sweethearts last year. I went to the first night of Star Wars last year. And there are things that operationally and through the whole schedule of events that don't go according to plan. So and when you go to the first night, you have to know that is probably going to be more than likely that all that's going to happen. And if you go to the following nights, which I'm hoping they get it sort of fixed by tomorrow, that things are running a little more smoothly. Right. So what have you heard,
I believe it was
Danielle?
the Royal Ball that happens over in front of Small World.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The videos coming out of that is that the actors could barely even get into the middle of the crowd because there were so many people. Everybody showed up at one time to be over there, and it's just wall to wall. You couldn't see anybody. And it was just too much. And of course, it's because every other influencer's there, every other media person's there also trying to get photos and reference. And I really hope when you go, Megan, it will not be the same as that at all.
Which I'm going the second night, so I feel like it's not going to be that bad.
Right.
But even last year, like that's so crazy. I don't remember it being packed with people. They came in eventually, but we were there for the first little shindig that they did, and all the characters were easily in the middle, dancing with each other, dancing with guests. So that's very interesting. And I'm sad to hear that. Okay, so that was a little too much. Well, you know, I can see that happening. I can see that being an issue, and they're going to have to figure that out. That's just one thing they need to manage a little better. So, anyways, we'll keep you guys posted on how my Sweethearts Night goes. But as of right now, we did still have some hiccups on night one.
Yes. But the artwork is adorable for the map as well as the little credentials that you wear around your neck. It's more of a throwback to like 1950s, 60s style. It's created by Asia Ellington.
Oh, yay. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Which y'all know I love her. I think actually over here off to the side, I have one of my caricatures from back in the day before she worked at Disney. I have a caricature done by her of me as a fairy godmother as one of my cast member days. And I love her artwork. I love her art style. You're going to have to grab me an extra map because I really want the art on the front of the map.
I got you. Absolutely.
Thank you. And speaking of which, Asia is also the artist that is like one of the main people that created the new Walt Disney World AP magnet of Hey Hey.
Hey Hey. Oh, that's so cute. Oh my gosh.
It's so cute. Are you looking at the picture of it right now?
You guys get such cute. Yes, you guys get the cutest magnets. I'm sorry. Like there was a Dumbo one that I had to like bribe somebody to get for me. I think this was last year. And then Hey Hey, I mean, because Moana Journey of Water just opened. So exactly. I love this little magnet. He's so stinking cute, and he's squawking in this little like Walt Disney World annual pass holder magnet.
And it's very much fantastic. In her art style. Asia is also the one that created the murals that are currently on the side of the Disney store in MCO, in the Orlando International Airport.
Yep.
I love it. I love her art style so much. And so starting January 29th through February 23rd is when you can pick up this newest annual pass holder magnet featuring Hey Hey, and it's going to be over at the Creation Shop. They just have a little door. You just line up, tap your magic band, you pick it up, you're good to go.
Well, if you're ever to get your hands on an extra one, I'll trade you for the map at Sweethearts.
I think that sounds like a good plan, Megan. I can try to make that happen. I'll see.
Okay.
I'll see. Yes.
Thanks. Appreciate it. It's so cute.
It is really, really cute. I think it's just fun. It's different. It's not a Fab Five character, which I think is even better.
No, and I really appreciate that. It is a sidekick. Yes, definitely. Was he on my list? I think he was on my list.
He was on your list.
Yes, I chose him over Pua, which okay, Megan.
He was in the movie more than Pua was, so it's fine.
He was. I love his squawk. I think what Alan Tudyk voices Hey Hey. He's just hilarious. Yeah. Well, and speaking of Disney World, there's an update to the Disney World app. Now for annual pass holders, excuse me. There's a reason I didn't see this when I was over there. I am not an annual pass holder yet for Disney World, but there is an update. Danielle, do you know more about this?
So basically it's just a add-on where you can kind of see which days are going to be good to go days. Now this means nothing to you as a Disneylander, babe.
No,
but which is so interesting. And I think we need to talk about this too a little bit more. But good to go days are basically saying that for any of the Walt Disney World parks, you do not need a reservation to get into that park. You can just show up whenever, and that's fine. There is a way to be able to see it without going into the whole press make reservation, log into the system again, go onto the website form and be able to go through that. There is a way you can view that. Honestly, personally, it's just easier to go in, make a reservation, and if you click a day, it'll say, this is one of your good to go days. On the Saturday, no, you do need a reservation for this day. And then you just go ahead and make the reservation at the same time.
Oh, I see. Okay. Now I got it. But this is really cool is that is it on the app or is it on the website?
I believe this is on the app. Yes.
So this is okay. That's kind of nice. App. Yeah, because we don't have any sort of calendar that shows us anything on the app, right? So it's nice that at least your good to go days are shown. Because we always have to go, and whatever we want to see, we have to go on the website for our reservation days. So this is cool. Okay.
But you guys
I love
don't
that
even
for you
have
guys.
good to go days.
No, we don't have anything like that. No. We always have to make a reservation no matter what.
And I feel like this is a little confusing, and there's a lot of Disney Worlders that have been going here to Disneyland here recently have been confused on this now that I thought this change applied to everybody. And even your park hopping is not the same as ours right now, or has that changed that the park hopping at least is the same?
I honestly, you have to, the way it works, you still have to go to your reserve park before 11 a.m. If you are there after 11, you can go anywhere, right? But it's 11 a.m. is the time you can park hop, and you cannot do it before then. So that's what it is right now. Yeah.
See, where you can park hop early now at Walt Disney World. So even if you have to have a reservation for a not good to go day, you can now tap in and you can park hop at any time after tapping into that location also.
Yes. Yeah. I know that changed for you guys. Doing so great over there in World. I'm so happy for you.
We just have the blessing of space. That's the only difference in why we have that.
I know. So the good to go days are awesome for Disney World, and I totally get it with the space, annual passes, and just the way that the ticket structure works for World. Would they ever be able to do this for Disneyland? I get this question all the time. Reservations, are they going away? Is the park hopping thing going away? First of all, in order to have the park hopping thing, we have to have reservations. You know what I mean? They need to be able to track ticket holders, magic key holders, where they're going first in the morning. And so I don't think they can never be one or the other. It has to be both. So I feel like good to go days, it might be possible if they decide that the tracking magic key holders isn't helping them anymore, or isn't doing much for their research. However, I feel like it's doing a lot for them in terms of
it's helping a lot with Disney merchandise exclusive releases.
Yes, absolutely.
So because then if you have a blogger that goes in and says, oh, hey, there's this brand new pair of ears that's limited edition, only available over at California Adventure, it reduces the amount of people that are flooding, or like the eBayers are trying to flood in immediately afterwards to be able to get that item. It makes it harder for them. So then they have to be like, oh, I only can get a pass for Disneyland. I have to wait until 11. Like people have to really decide, is it worth the time or effort to be able to try to go get this product? So I do think it helps space that out a little bit.
Yeah. And since we are a locals park, is majority of where our guests come from is in the area. So I do think this is here to stay for quite a while unless they come up with a better system. I don't think we'll have good to-go days in the near future. Maybe down the line, we'll see. But as of right now, it seems like Disneyland is really enjoying this opportunity to do their research, analyze their the guests' ratios and stuff, and the reservation system's like really helping with that. So we'll see what happens to it. I'm still waiting on those magic key penalties, man, and changing that system, because it is awful. It is simply horrendous, and I think that needs to be addressed first. So there's the Magical Millennials 2 cents on that. Anyways, let's go into something a little bit lighter. Why don't we get into our countdown for this week, which is our top 5 Disney animated movies. Shall we?
Throw back to Happy Kelly 100's review of like, what's all this jibba jabba? Let's get to the countdown.
Enough with the jibber jabber. Back to the main event. The main event are 1 through 5 Disney animated movies. I cannot wait to see yours, Danielle. I'm so stoked. No.
Forget mine. I'm confused about yours. I don't know where this is going to go at all. So I think, I started last time, Megan. Do you want to start us off this time?
Sure, I can definitely do that. Let's see, let me pull up my little list here. I will recap my 6 through 10.
Oh, yes.
And then we'll get into 1 through 5. Okay, so my number 10 was The Little Mermaid. And that was through my childhood. Love that movie. Wanted to be a mermaid growing up. Number 9 was Meet the Robinsons, which of course is home to my favorite song. And just love the message from that movie, and the humor is great. I love it. Number 8, Frozen 2, which is a surprise one that Danielle thought was going to be higher on my list, but there it is at number 8. Number 7, Princess and the Frog. That's just a classic, and same thing, nostalgia, man. It's just a good movie. And then my number 6 is Tangled.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. So, do you want to go through your 6 or 10 before we get into it?
You know what? I might as well. Okay. So
go ahead.
My number 10 was Wreck-It Ralph. Number 9 was Oliver and Company.
Yes.
Number 8 was Mulan. Number 7 was Hercules. And number 6 was Winnie the Pooh, the 2011 movie.
I love it. Okay.
It's such an interesting mix. And
it is a very interesting mix, yes.
Right. And I think that's why we're both confused. I think a couple other people in the Discord, when they were listening, they were just like, okay, this doesn't really line up with a lot of their other favorites for like sidekick characters or even songs.
Right. Songs. Yeah.
So, I don't know. But yes, what is your number 5, Miss Megan?
Okay. Number 5 is gonna be a classic, I believe, not from the Renaissance. I forget which period it's from, but it is Beauty and the Beast. This is the movie that of course features my favorite princess, which is Belle. Again, something I grew up absolutely loving this movie, singing the songs. It warms my heart. Has one of the best villains, I think, in Gaston. And Belle's just my all-time favorite. I do have a little story from the weekend, which I can go into it too, but we had the one and only Stacia Martin come into our little frog hop that we did last weekend in Epcot. She is a Disney artist and historian. And let me tell you, if you ever watch a video of Stacia Martin doing her thing, drawing and telling the story of the character that she's drawing, you are in a trance, because this woman, she speaks so eloquently. She doesn't even take any pauses, no ums or uhs or anything. She just keeps going about what she's doing and this drawing she's making about this character. And it's so fascinating. So she did that like 10 times with 10 different characters while we were there. And Belle was one of the characters she ended up drawing. And unfortunately, she was raffling them off after she drew them and after she was finished. Blake, our friend Blake, won the Belle drawing. And then the last one that she drew was Winnie the Pooh. And I ended up winning Winnie the Pooh, which is Blake's favorite character. And it was so serendipitous. And I was just, my eyes were like, oh my God, like that actually just happened. So I like told Blake to come up here. I was like, no, this one's for you. This one's for you. And we traded characters, and I ended up getting Belle, which was insane. Just insane the way that worked. It was literally Disney magic. And she's just my favorite. So Beauty and the Beast had to be in my top 5. And there it is, of course, sitting at number 5. So yeah, there's the first one.
Megan, we have our first overlap of the first season.
No way!
The first overlap in season 3. So yes, number 5 is also my Beauty and the Beast as well.
I just got chills. Oh my God, no way!
And, I was really debating this one. I was like, you know what? Beauty and the Beast, I did not necessarily grow up with that VHS, right? Which is very funny. I don't know why. I just didn't grow up with it. Yeah. And maybe because I thought the Beast was scary when I was little. But then as I got older, and I think this kind of falls in with my time with like Hercules and Mulan, I didn't appreciate these movies until I was older and watching them as a cast member. But I really like Beauty and the Beast. And I was like, okay, that's my number 5. That's the placement of where it went. It was like between that and Winnie the Pooh, of deciding who was going to be in 5 and 6. And I also just really like this movie. I think I really fell in love with it because of the Broadway show.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? It's so good.
So good. The music and the original songs for Beast are fantastic. Yes. My favorite song is When We're Human Again. And
oh yeah,
they did go and create an extended version, and that song was created for the Broadway show. They did create an animated version that is able to be seen in the movie. If you do the extended, it's not in the original, but it's in the extended version that re-released. Oh gosh, it was like maybe in 2010 or something like that. And I really like it. It's still one of my favorite songs. So yes, Beauty and the Beast for my number 5.
That's so awesome. I love that we overlapped in this very, very special movie. Oh my gosh. I was also debating whether or not it should be higher because it is so special to me, but yay. Oh my gosh. That's so exciting.
It. And as a reminder, y'all, me and Megan don't talk about our list beforehand.
Absolutely not.
They are completely secret from each other. We do not plan this out. I just have my little sloth notebook that's over here off to the side, and she doesn't get to see any of it until we talk about it. So I think whenever those moments happen, they are very genuine and very funny.
I love it so much. And I love that it was only just our second episode. We have our first overlap. Well, our first list even. Oh, that's exciting. Okay. Yay. Let's love it. Let's see if there are any more. These are getting a little more personal now, I guess, with the ones at the top of the list. So let's number 4 for me is going to be The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And when I tell you the movies that I grew up with, this is top 3. I watch this movie constantly, as dark as it may be, and I don't know. It is it's not super Disneyfied. Like it's very old Disney where it gets real with the messages.
More artistic side of Disney.
Very artistic.
Very funny.
Exactly. Yes. But I absolutely loved it. I love the songs, God help of all time. And this is my childhood.
I picture the audio of that kid that's yelling like anarchy, and then
anarchy.
He's like, I don't know what that means, but I love it. I picture
literally
that
me
when you're listening to Hellfire and you're probably singing along as a kid, be like, I don't know what that means, but I love it.
I don't know what he's saying, but it's really good. It sounds good. Yeah. No, that's a dark song. So, and then also they did a live action show at Disneyland for a while in the back area near the old Big Thunder barbecue. And that was so fun. I remember specifically a few parts of that show and loving it. So there's my number 4, Hunchback of Notre Dame. I really want to know if any of y'all who are listening, if this would be in your top 5, because I feel like this might be a little more, I don't know, just a personal choice.
Especially, I feel like for some people, it's definitely probably in their top 10 or top 15, but I don't know if it would have broken down into the top 4s for some people like it has
Yeah.
for you. So
Yeah.
let us know, y'all. Let us know.
Yeah.
Well, my number
what's
4
yours, Danielle?
is my second technically third favorite princess, and that's going to be Cinderella.
Oh, yay. A
Oh,
classic.
A classic, an absolute classic. And of course, I love Cinderella for the sidekick characters of Jacques and Gus, Susie and Perla, Lucifer, and Fairy Godmother. Oh, I love Fairy Godmother. And even to this day, meeting Fairy Godmother in Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World, I get downright emotional. Just like, I'm done. I can't even. And even I was a fairy godmother. I was at the Bibbidi Boppity Boutiques, not the fairy godmother, but a fairy godmother. And even when we were in costume, and she would sometimes make special appearances, and she would walk into the boutique. If I picked up in the castle, she would be over there, and she would sometimes make a magical appearance, be like, "Hello, fairy godmothers, how are you doing?" And even as I'm trying to do the hair on the little girl, I'm like, "Hello, fairy godmother, it's so nice to see you." Oh my goodness, I was a wreck.
She's so sweet though, and it is, I guess, it's rare to see her in any Disney park. It's definitely rare to see her over in Land. So it's special.
Which is funny because I feel like she is actually more seen here in Walt Disney World than she is over in Disneyland, which usually it's vice versa.
I think so too. I know. I think so too. Yeah. Yeah. You rarely see, she's in parades over here, but not usually out for meet and greets. Yeah. So, I love that. I had a feeling Cinderella was somewhere on your list because I'm like, Fairy Godmother, Baby Bach Boutique.
Near to my heart, of course.
There it is. It is such a good movie.
Such a classic.
Definitely
and they did a really good job on the live action, but that's for
yes, they
another
did.
time.
That is for another time, but they absolutely did. That's my number 1 for live action, just in case. That's a spoiler, and if anybody wants to know, if we do live action movies, that'll be number 1.
Yes.
Oh, yay. Okay. Okay, so number 3 for me is going to be Hercules. And I know this was in your top 10.
Yes, it was my number 7.
That was your number 7. So Hercules is up there for me, again, just because it is like part of my childhood, came out when I was young, and I fell in love with Meg. It's Meg. Like I have to have,
the queen of sass and drama.
The queen of sass, little Megara, and I was so happy that there was like a Meg in the Disney world. In the Disney movie world. It's like, oh my gosh, she's so cool. And love this story. I mean, obviously it's got some Greek mythology and history behind it. And I love the songs are just incredible. I would listen to that soundtrack constantly. Don't Say I'm in Love. I Won't Say I'm in Love. Zero to Hero. I still like, those are bangers. I still listen to those on road trips. Oh my God. Amazing. So, Hercules is right there in my top 3 at number 3.
Oh,
I just love it.
That's such a good one. That's such a good one.
Thank
you. My number 3. This is the one I was thinking about is going to confuse a lot of people because either people have seen this movie and they love it, or they've never seen this movie before. Okay. It's Lion King 1.5.
Stop it right now. You put that on number 3?
That's my
no
number 3.
way.
Is Lion King 1.5.
This is the best day ever.
This was a straight to VHS home movie, right?
Yes, it was.
It was. So if you've never seen Lion King 1.5, it goes through the story of Timon and Pumbaa and what they were doing the entire time of what's happening in the Lion King. So like how they actually found Simba, why were they in the jungle, why did they find Hakuna Matata, and like all this
how
other
Timon
stuff.
found Pumbaa, Timon's backstory, his family.
Right,
it's
his mom
a must
and his
watch.
uncle. It's
a must watch. It's so great.
The Dig a Tunnel song comes from.
Dig a tunnel.
And before when we were going through and we were deciding this list, I was like, I really feel like I need to put Lion King 1.5 in there. And Mom's like, when's the last time you've even seen that movie? And I'm like, well, I guess we're watching it tonight because it's been like 15 plus years. And we turn on Disney Plus and we watch it, and I am cackling. There are so many jokes that I didn't even realize are in there until now that I'm older. I'm like, oh, that's even better.
Right.
And my mother looks over at me and she's like, at certain points in the movie, she's like, you said this on repeat, like quotes from the movie in certain instances. And I never understood where this reference was coming from until now. And I'm like, okay, because at one point, Timon's mom is like hugging him to death, and Timon's like choking, not breathing. I said that whenever my aunts hugged me when we were
really?
visiting them, and they would give me this big old bear hug, and I would say that, and mom's just like, what is this weirdo kid saying? And I was referencing Timon the entire time, and she never knew.
I am obsessed with that, and I love that you put it at number 3. The straight to home video Lion King 1.5. We were okay, I'm so with you. We were obsessed with that movie. It was something that me and my brother would watch on road trips, and of course when my sister came along, we got her to watch it too. And oh my gosh, that the whole DVD, I don't know if you guys have the DVD of Lion King 1.5, you know that there are special little activities you can do on it, like little games you can play with, like with the hyenas and with Timon and Pumbaa. And we went through that thing so many times. And it's just, it's, it's not the best movie, but it will definitely make you laugh. And
it's a good one.
It's such a great concept.
There's so many references also that have aged out. Like people don't know the joke anymore because it's too old. Like it referenced a lot of current media or like older media also. Like at one point, Pumbaa farts and like all the hyenas run away, and Timon says, "I love the smell of Pumbaa in the morning," and I was just like, oh, so funny, so funny. Oh gosh, but yes.
You just reminded me that I need to watch that again for a good laugh. I need a little pick me up. It's being added to the list. I am obsessed with that choice, and this just made my day. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And that's why I was gonna say, no, it's gonna confuse people on why it's where it is, but it's number 3, baby.
I think those that get it will get it for sure. If you know, you know. Yeah, and for those of you that haven't seen Lion King 1.5, please throw it on Disney Plus and just
add it to your list.
Just watch away and
really confuse the Disney Plus algorithm on why all of a sudden it's getting watched over
number
and over
2
again.
for me. Number 2 is going to be, and it was also in your list, Danielle, it is Mulan. And wow, was talking about childhood again. These are all personal choices from my childhood. This is literally number 1 in terms of childhood movies that I was absolutely obsessed with. I know this would be a cultural appropriation today, so I apologize, but I did dress up as Mulan one Halloween as a kid in the 90s. It was a different time. Okay, don't come for me. It was in the 90s, yes. Right. And I did wear her dress. I had all of the dolls. I had the little action figures. I just completely obsessed with Mulan and the songs. Oh my gosh, that soundtrack also incredible. Oh my gosh,
everyone had a crush on Shang.
I can't say enough about it. Everyone had a crush on. Oh my god, we love Shang. I still have a crush on Shang. He's like top Disney dude for me. And Mushu. Is there a better sidekick than Mushu? I don't know. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he made in the top of our list for those ones. Also,
I think he was my number 2, below Jiminy. Which, looking back, I'm like, why did I do that? But I still love Jiminy Cricket, Jiminy Cicada. So yeah, it had to be number. It had to be. It was between that and my number 1. But we'll get to my number 1 in a second. So yeah, there's Mulan, sitting pretty at number 2. I just love that film.
Oh, good choice, Megan. Good choice.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, what about you, Danielle?
My number 2 should come to no surprises to anybody because I have talked about this in previous episode, but my number 2 is Lilo and Stitch.
Yay! I love that. It's such a good movie.
Right. And I feel like for some people, for you, Megan, you watching Hunchback of Notre Dame over and over again, Lilo and Stitch was my Hunchback of Notre Dame. I watched it so much, and it was right when VHS and DVD were like becoming a thing, and we bought the DVD version of it, and we had like the fancy DVD player. I watched it so much the DVD stopped working.
I think no, and the DVD would like scratch and not play anymore.
Well, not even just scratch. It like in a weird way burned itself up because I watched it so much. And my DVD player's like, no, Danielle, you do not need to see this again for the 100th time. And I would watch the bonus features all the time. And to the point where the bonus features they show a clip of them at the hula studio watching and filming the hula dancers and they're trying to choreograph the movements for the animation. I memorized, and I thought I was a professional hula dancer because I memorized that entire dance and I was obsessed with it. It's good times, good times. But yes, Lilo and Stitch is still very near and dear to my heart.
It's such a good movie. Such a good movie. It had me and my brother obsessed with Elvis for the longest time.
Yes, I'm still obsessed with Elvis, but yes,
yes, and yeah, of course, yeah. Still love the songs. So I love that choice, Danielle, for your number 2. And I think that was one of your top songs as well. Was Lilo's song the first one that plays in the movie?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And I do listen to that one. That is on my Disney playlist when I go on my road trips, and it's beautiful.
Oh, good.
So yay. I'm seeing a lot of consistencies with your movies and among other lists that we've had, which is great.
Right. I feel like in a weird way, mine's more consistent than yours is.
I think yours is way more consistent. Yes, because my number 1 makes probably no sense with my other list.
Well, before we get into our number 1, y'all, thank you again so much for listening this far into the episode and us rambling and talking. I feel like we talked about more news on this episode than we did in the previous episode for the beginning of the season. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening along. Make sure you are following Disney Countdown Show on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Myself, the Dapper Danielle, on the same socials, and the magical millennial _ for Miss Megan. And don't forget to DM us or write those little fan mails to Disney Countdown Show at gmail.com. Join the Patreon family. We have another bonus episode if you want to hear the movies that almost made the list, our 11 through 15s.
I think we're going to have some good ones this time around. So but you can absolutely join us for that and become a paid subscriber or join the Patreon. And don't forget, we have a virtual hang coming up very soon. So if you want to join in, you can chat with us a little bit more one-on-one, which is super fun.
Yeah. Okay. Right, what's number that number 1?
Here we go. It is, drumroll please, Emperor's New Groove. From gosh, 2001 or something? 2000? I think it's 2000. Yes, it is Emperor's New Groove. And I think I think it's going to be considered a very underrated film from a lot of people. But I watched it recently with my fiance, and we ended up watching the whole thing. We're not big movie people. And in terms of like sitting down to watch movies together, and we watched that whole thing because of how just entertaining, funny, like moving it is. It has really good, like,
I could totally see him
heartfelt moments. Oh, he freaking loves Kronk. He loves Kronk. He loves just the whole story. Like, Kronk really does kind of steal the show in that movie, but I just think it's great. And yeah, it did come out probably when I was 8 or 9, and it had me just giggling the whole time in my young age, and still makes me giggle. So I say that I think movie lists do change and favorite Disney movies change as of right now, and it's been this way for quite a few years. Emperor's New Groove is my number 1.
Yes. Yeah. And I would agree with you, Megan. I do think all these lists are subject to change of like what's going on in our lives, what story is touching or moving us at that time of what's happening in our life. So I would 100% agree with you. But just like you, for me, my number 1 is that story that just stuck with me, that made a very large impact on me. And of course, it is Princess and the Frog.
Oh, yay.
I had a feeling. So much.
I had a feeling it was that one.
I've talked about probably in the sidekicks, I mentioned both Lewis and Raymond. I've mentioned the songs in multiple of the episodes. Charlotte LaBeouf. So when I said Cinderella is my second favorite, technically third, it's because in order it goes Princess Tiana, Charlotte LaBeouf, because she is technically a princess for a day, and then Cinderella. But if you don't count Charlotte, it would be Cinderella.
We love Charlotte. We love her spunkiness and her sassiness and everything about her, and how good of a friend she is to Tiana.
Right. And
it's so
this
good.
movie was so impactful to me when I saw it for the very first time. It made me really love animation and the history it kind of actually got me into the whole downhill spiral of looking into history, because I'm like, oh, this movie is beautifully animated. I really associate Princess and the Frog with my time of really getting into a deep dive of Disney history, because
Mhm.
I watched this movie. I was so impressed with the animation style and just the whole storyline, and how, because at the time they were also showing little clips of them going to New Orleans
Mhm.
and doing some research on this. I'm like, oh, well, I wonder if they did research for other movies. And then that was just kind of the, let me pick up a book on this. Let me look into
Yeah.
this. And
Yep.
it was that downhill spiral of getting that history and getting that knowledge accumulated. So yeah, here we are.
Oh, I love that. And I love your choice. I'm full support of it. And I had a feeling it was going to be at your number one because I didn't hear it throughout the list. And I'm like, Princess and the Frog's got to be in there somewhere. So,
Oh yeah, for sure. It's number one.
it is a great movie. So excited that Tiana's got her own restaurant now in Disneyland. We're getting the
Yes.
ride pretty soon here. And it is it's a wonderful, wonderful film.
She's
With
getting
with
love.
a
She's
great
finally getting
soundtrack.
some love.
She's getting some love. Much needed, much deserved.
Oh,
Yay! Oh my
love
gosh.
it.
Okay. Well, I love that. I love our list. I love the personal ties to each choice. And I think we had okay, love that we had an overlapping one. That's a
One,
plus for
which
sure.
I was shocked. I was planning and kind of assuming that it was not going to happen.
It was going to be different. Yep.
Right.
So that's so fun. I love it. But great choices, Danielle. This was a fun countdown. I'm so glad we finally were able to do this. Of course, now that the strike is over, we had been waiting on this one for a little while, but finally got to do the movie list.
Well, thank y'all so much again for listening in.
Yes, thank you.
Make sure if you are a paid subscriber or a Patreon member, make sure you are tuning in and ready for that bonus episode to drop with the ones that almost made this list, because there are still some that Megan has not mentioned that I'm confused of where the placement is of almost making it into the list. So that will be on the bonus episode. And again, thank y'all for hanging out.
Yes, thank you so much. And we will see you next time. Until then, have a very magical day.
And night, night, sleep tight, dream of churros tonight.